We're here recording live in the VIP lounge at the TCL Chinese Theatre in Hollywood for the 19th annual Oscar qualifying HollyShorts Film Festival. And my goodness, we are here with Ramsay Philips, an actor.
That's right.
From the film Touch.
Yep. That's
Hi,
right.
Ramsay. How you doing?
I'm doing really well. How are you all doing?
We're
amazing.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we're glad
Awesome.
you're up here in the VIP lounge with us.
I know, right? It feels good to be up here. Feels good to be at a film festival, and happy to be here with you all.
In person.
You know,
Yeah,
in person, seeing you all in person.
And it's not often we get the actual actors up here, so
Uh-huh.
to represent
Well, there you go.
the substance.
This
Glad
is
I could be up
cinematography
here.
for actors, so
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
so glad
exactly,
we can
right?
get this side
It's
of the
so-
acting.
It's so nice. Before we get started, we
Yep.
want to talk all about your experience,
Okay.
but tell us a little bit about the film.
Yeah, so the premise of the film is two best friends go hunting.
Mm-hmm.
One of them dies, and it is because of one of their daughters.
Oh.
That is
Well, now.
the premise of the film. Yes.
Well, now. Okay.
Somebody
All right.
dies. Oh, boy.
One of us two, myself and the other actor, which the other actor's name is Nicholas Alexander, writer, director, actor, producer, editor of this entire film. So it was
Okay.
a really great experience for him. A little insight on me and him. We were roommates for 10 years together out here.
Wow.
8
okay.
of which were in a one-bedroom apartment. I lived in the living room. He lived in the bedroom. It was a wild time. But filming this was pretty incredible, you know. So
And the end of the relationship.
yeah.
Did one
One
of
of
you
us
die?
dies.
That's actually why Nick couldn't be here
Exactly.
with us today, folks.
He's
He
not
died.
here today because he is dead.
It's because of one of their daughters.
Yes, because of one of our daughters, he is dead, and now you get me. You're stuck with me for today for the podcast. So, you know, here we go.
So, Nicholas created this.
Created
and
this, yes.
Were you kind of there along for the ride? Did you know this was happening, or was this something he brought to you?
I was not along for this ride, but I have been along for other rides. So I live in Atlanta now and have for the last couple of years. And he texted me one day and he was like, "Hey, I wrote a short film. I want you to be in it." I was like, "Great, let's do it. That sounds awesome." And I said that before I asked him what it was about. I said, "Yes, I want to do it. That sounds great." So then I was like, "What's it about?" And he told me. I was like, "Oh, that's very interesting. I know now why you chose me. I tend to play dark characters."
Got it.
And he was like, "Oh, you'd be perfect for this." So that's how that happened. But it was such an amazing experience filming. We filmed actually in Montana, Butte, Montana. So the scenes that you see in the movie, or the scenery, the wilderness, is actual real shots. It's not fake. We're looking out over the wilderness, the snow on the ground in January, mind you, for a week in January in Butte, Montana. Unbelievable experience. But yeah, so I've been along for the entire rides on other ones. For this one, I was there for, we'll call it a couple months lead up, then the 5 days, and then he took everything over, editing and all that post-production stuff.
Wild.
What
Yeah.
kind of conversations were you having? Since he created everything, it's kind of his baby. How was he getting you on the same page, tonally, visually?
So I'm from Kentucky, and when I moved out here, I had an accent, a pretty thick Southern accent.
Okay.
And he was like, "I want you to bring Kentucky back." And so I was like, "Oh, all right. Well, so that's kind of easy." And so we got on the phone, talked a little bit, and then I gave him an accent after I had read it, quite a few times, and figured out, hey, is this kind of what you're looking for? And it was just conversation after conversation of what he's looking for as a director, because it was his first time directing, and so.
Oh, wow.
Him figuring out how to work with actors, one that he had known, one being himself, and then another one, Annabella, who's the other actress in the film, who working with her. So him figuring out how to work with all the actors, then all of the crew people and stuff, pre-production wise. So there was conversations and then questions that I had of like, hey, what are you trying to convey here? What is this scene about? Is this scene needed? How does this propel the story forward? And, all these questions that he would then have an answer for. And, we try to dig as deep as possible. then he put myself and Annabella on the phone together, and we read over the script and stuff like that, and got in depth a little bit about the characters and what was happening. And so it was a pretty cool experience across the country. You know, him out here, me in Atlanta, so it was pretty nice.
So there are a lot of chats. Was there any mood boarding? Were you sharing visual ideas?
There was no mood boarding on my end, but there was a lot of storyboarding on his end of him sharing stuff with me of like, here's what I visually see with this scene and how it's going to come together and stuff. I was like, great. I didn't send him any of those. I was like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying here and what you're wanting. So let's try to come up with that. I will say one of the coolest parts. So in the death scene where one of us kills the other, we worked with a woman in our acting class named Bethany Michelle Curry, who's a stunt woman in this city, and she choreographed it over the phone for us.
Wow.
So I was on Zoom in Atlanta.
Incredible.
He was with her in person in a park somewhere here in Los Angeles. She was playing me in the choreography and just showing me what to do, of how to do whatever we were doing. And then it actually turned out really, really, really good in the film. I'm super happy with that because of how it all came together.
Yeah, was she ever there on set with you?
No,
Never.
she was not on set. She was not on set, but we didn't really need her on set in the sense of we had practiced that quite a bit, leading up to the day we shot it. And so it kind of actually went pretty natural when we actually did it, which was shocking because it was in the snow and it was cold as could be out there, but it's a really cool time.
When you are working on that kind of fight choreography, when you're shooting it, are you thinking and being cognizant at all of where the camera is and making sure that you are telling that story through the lens?
Yes and no.
Right.
So yes, in a sense of you always see where the camera is out of your peripheral vision, and so you know the beats of the fight choreography scene, especially with this one. And with this being film, so the cinematographer, he's able to move around to kind of find the best spots of, okay, I want to get their face here, and he can move in, he can move out, he can move up, down, whichever way he wants to go. So you're cognizant of where they are because you see moving pieces, but you're obviously your main focus is killing this person in this instance, or whatever the fight cinematography or choreography is for it. So there is some cognizance to it as you're filming, and then that kind of leads to them talking about what they liked in that particular shot, what they didn't like, what we need to do again, and stuff like that, and them kind of piecing it together in their heads as it goes along.
What sort of relationship did you find that you had with your camera operators, the camera team?
Oh man, yeah, I mean, a really, really incredible one. So there were 3 people on the camera team. One of them the cinematographer, and then 2 ACs. Both of them were local to Montana, and they were amazing. But just talking with them and getting to know them, because we were all in Montana, so we all got to know each other. Only person that I knew, there were 2 people, Nicholas and then Danny, who was where we shot it at his house. But getting to know these guys and then just talking to them, like Mateus, the cinematographer, he's talking to me about what he wants to get in this shot, and then we're going back and forth. But in the rehearsal, he's like, I want you to just do what you're feel is natural that you're going to do, and then I'm going to block around that, and then then we'll figure out what the best way is to shoot that. So my relationship with them is always like, it's fun because it's a collaboration. It's not just a collaboration between me and the other actors or me and the director. It's a collaboration between me, the cinematographers, and really everybody on set. It's a huge, awesome collaboration. So I love getting a chance to talk with them in between takes, before takes, stuff like that.
Love to hear that you felt like everyone was telling the same story together.
Exactly.
So we
Exactly.
love it. Makes for better stories. And for our final question, is there a particular shot in the movie that's your favorite?
A shot in the movie that's my favorite. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I think my favorite sequence is the one where we are in the fight choreography. But the shot that I think is my favorite is when it's actually a shot on Nicholas, my favorite shot, because it captures, like, there's like a lens flare off to the back behind him, and it's a really, really cool moment because you see some of the snow, you see the trees, and then a lens flare popping in. I think it's just a really beautiful shot, and it really captures the Montana wilderness that we shot in for a week. So it was really cool. Yeah.
Sold me.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Sounds gorgeous.
Yeah.
And did you already screen your film? Or
Yeah, so it's screened on Tuesday night, 7:30 in the Thriller block.
Thriller
and
block.
there was a lot of amazing films in there, and it was my first time actually seeing the film.
Oh.
Yeah, Nicholas
All
he told me and Annabella, the other actress, he was like, I don't want you all to see it till it's on the big screen
Wow.
in a film festival.
So was the film premiering at HollyShorts?
It premiered here at HollyShorts.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, ma'am.
Congratulations.
Well,
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Unfortunately, you missed the premiere. Well, maybe you didn't.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
for some of you out
Lucky
there,
for you.
you did miss it. But the good news is that you can catch it on BitPix at bitpixtv.com. Go find Touch, Ramsay
Yeah.
Philips. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you all for having me.
Thank
This has been
you.
amazing. Such a great experience. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been another episode of the Cinematography for Actors podcast. Follow us on wherever you listen to your podcast to keep up to date on new episode releases. We will be live through August 20th here at HollyShorts Film Fest. If you're here, drop in and say a little hello at the VIP lounge. We also want to thank our sponsors, Apogee, Film Tools, Roscoe, Lightstone Rentals, Canon, and First Mile Tech. As a special gift to you listeners, we've partnered with We Make Movies to get you a discount on comprehensive production insurance packages. Use code CFA23 on your intake form for 10% off your quote by visiting wemakemovies.org/insurance.
If you missed any of our live streams, you can watch all of our interviews on our YouTube channel, Cinematography for Actors. And make sure you follow us on Instagram at Cinematography for Actors. You can also catch us in a more formal setting on Monday, August 14th at Japan House for a panel discussion on the importance of bridging the gap between talent and crew. You can get 20% off of your ticket purchase by using the code HSFF2023CFA at checkout.
Thanks!